Listen up. If you're selling anything today, a product, a service, yourself, and you're not thinking digital, you've already lost. Digital marketing isn't some fancy buzzword. It's the game. It's how you connect with people where they actually are, on their phones, on their laptops, scrolling through their feeds. Gone are the days of just throwing up a billboard and hoping for the best. Today, we're talking about direct lines to your customers, real conversations, and building communities online. It's about being where the attention is, and right now the attention is 100% digital. Why does it matter so much? Because the internet is the great equalizer. You don't need $1 million budget to compete anymore. You can be a kid in your basement with a great idea and a smartphone, and you can build an audience bigger than some Fortune 500 companies. Digital marketing gives you the power to media group, marketer, analyzing audience demographics on computer screen, digital ad targeting dashboard on monitor at stock, distribute equally. Target exactly who you want to reach, measure what's working and what's not, and pivot on a dime. It's about speed, relevance, and authenticity. This isn't just marketing, it's the modern-day version of supply and demand for attention, and you need to be in the business of winning it. Think about your own day. How many times have you checked your phone? How many videos did you watch on TikTok or YouTube? How many times did you search for something on Google? Every single one of those moments is an opportunity for a brand to connect with you. That's the power we're talking about. We're living in the single greatest era to build a business or a personal brand, all because of these tools. Ignoring digital marketing is like trying to run a marathon with your shoes tied together. It's just not going to work, and you're going to get left in the dust by everyone else who gets it. So let's get one thing straight. This isn't a nice to have, it's a must-have. It's the core of how business is done in 2025 and beyond. It's the difference between being seen and being invisible, between growing and dying. Understanding how to use these platforms to tell your story, provide value, and build relationships is the most important skill you can learn. It's the language of now. The rest of this guide is about teaching you how to speak it, so pay attention, because this is where your future begins. Get ready to put in the work. So what does a digital marketer actually do? Forget the fancy titles. At the end of the day, a digital marketer is a practitioner. They are the ones in the trenches, doing the work. They are part artist, part scientist. They're the people who understand the psychology of why someone clicks, buys, or follows. They create the content, they run the ads, they analyze the data, and they are obsessed with understanding the platforms: Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Google, you name it. A great marketer isn't just posting pretty pictures, they're building a machine that drives results. They live and breathe the internet's culture. The best marketers I know are relentlessly curious. They don't just learn about a new app, they download it, use it for hours, and figure out its DNA. They're not afraid to fail. In fact, they embrace it. They'll run 10 different ads and have 9 of them flop just to find the one that crushes it. They have a deep sense of empathy for the end consumer. They ask themselves, what does this person actually want? What's their problem? How can I solve it? It's not about tricking people into buying something. It's about providing so much value that people to be part of your world. Let's be real. This job is not for the lazy. You can't just clock in and clock out. The internet never sleeps and the landscape changes every single day. What worked yesterday might be irrelevant tomorrow. A successful digital marketer is a lifelong student. They're reading blogs, watching tutorials, listening to podcasts, and most importantly, they're constantly testing new ideas, new formats, and new strategies. They have a high tolerance for ambiguity and a bias for action. They don't wait for permission. They go out and make things happen. Ultimately, a digital marketer is a communicator and a problem solver who uses technology to achieve a business goal. Whether that goal is selling more sneakers, getting more sign-ups for a newsletter, or building a massive community around a brand, their job is to bridge the gap between the business and the customer online. They are the engine of modern growth. They understand that attention is the currency, and they know how to earn it, hold it, and convert it. It's a hustle, but if you love the game, there's nothing better. You want to learn this stuff? Good. Forget waiting for the perfect course or the right degree. The time to start is right now, today. The number one way to learn is by doing. Pick something, anything. Start a blog about your favorite hobby. Create an Instagram account for your dog. Offer to help a local pizza shop with their social media for free. The practical experience you get from actually trying to grow something from zero is worth more than any textbook. You need to get your hands dirty and make mistakes. That's where the real learning happens. Next, you need to become an information sponge. The answers to all your questions are out there for free if you're willing to look. Follow industry leaders on X and LinkedIn. Subscribe to blogs like HubSpot, Search Engine Journal, and Moz. Watch tutorials on YouTube. Listen to marketing podcasts during your commute. There are countless free courses from Google and Facebook that will teach you the fundamentals of their platforms. Stop binge-watching Netflix and start binge-watching how-to videos on setting up a Google Ads campaign. Consume, consume, consume. Don't just learn the theory, apply it immediately. As you read about SEO, go and try to optimize a blog post you wrote. When you learn about email marketing, sign up for a free MailChimp account and try to build a small email list. This creates a feedback loop. You learn a concept, you apply it, you see the result, or lack of one, and then you adjust. This hands-on approach will solidify your knowledge way faster than just reading about it. Document your journey. Start a blog or a video series about what you're learning. Teaching others is one of the best ways to learn yourself. Finally, understand that keeping up is part of the job. This isn't a field where you can just learn a skill and be set for life. Platforms change their algorithms. New social media apps pop up overnight. Consumer behavior shifts. You have to stay curious and be willing to adapt constantly. Make it a daily habit to check the latest news in the marketing world. Get comfortable with being a little uncomfortable because you'll always be learning. The hustle to stay current is what separates the great marketers from the good ones. The game is always changing, and you have to love the process of keeping up. Section 4. The tools of the trade, your digital marketing arsenal. Alright, let's break down the core pillars of this game. First up is search engine optimization, or SEO. This is all about getting your website to show up on Google when people search for stuff. Think of it as setting up your store on the busiest street in the world. It's not about tricking Google. It's about making your website so valuable and user-friendly that Google to show it to people. This means using the right keywords, creating amazing content that answers questions, and making sure your site is fast and easy to use on a phone. SEO is a long-term play, but it's the foundation for sustainable traffic. Next is content marketing. This is the heart and soul of what we do. Content is how you provide value. It's the blog posts, the videos, the podcasts, the social media updates, the infographics, everything you put out there to attract and engage your audience. The key is to stop selling and start helping. Create content that solves your customers' problems, entertains them, or educates them. If you become the go-to source for information in your niche, people will trust you. And when it comes time to buy, they'll come to you first. Give, then ask. Then you have social media and email marketing. Social media is where the conversations are happening right now. You need to be there, listening and participating. It's not just about broadcasting your message, it's about building a community. Find the platforms where your audience hangs out and provide content native to that platform. Email marketing is your direct line. It's the one channel you truly own. Building an email list is one of the most valuable things you can do. It allows you to communicate directly with your most loyal fans without an algorithm getting in the way. Finally, let's talk about the paid side and the brains of the operation, PPC and analytics. Pay-per-click PPC advertising like Google Ads or Facebook ads is like pouring gasoline on the fire. It allows you to pay to get your message in front of a highly targeted audience, fast. It's a powerful way to drive traffic and sales, but you have to know what you're doing, and that's where analytics comes in. This is how you know if any of this stuff is actually working. Analytics tools like Google Analytics tell you who is visiting your site, how they found you, and what they do when they're there. Data is your guide. Without it, you're just guessing. Section 5. It's not just clicks. The skills that actually matter. Look, knowing how to run a Facebook ad is a technical skill. Anyone can learn that. But what separates the top 1% of marketers from everyone else are the soft skills. The first one is creativity. I'm not just talking about being able to design a pretty graphic. I'm talking about creative problem solving. How can you tell your story in a way that no one else is? How can you grab attention in a sea of noise? You need to be able to think outside the box and come up with fresh angles and ideas that make people stop scrolling and pay attention. Communication is everything. You have to be able to write copy that persuades, create videos that connect, and speak in a way that is clear, concise, and authentic. This also includes listening. You need to be able to understand what the data is telling you and what your customers are saying. Great marketers are great storytellers. They can take a complex idea or a boring product and weave a narrative around it that resonates with people on an emotional level. If you can't communicate effectively, none of the technical skills matter. You're just shouting into the void. You absolutely must be able to think strategically. It's not about just posting on social media every day. It's about understanding the bigger picture. Why are you posting? Who are you trying to reach? What action do you want them to take? What is the overall business goal? A great marketer connects all the dots. They can develop a plan that uses different channels, SEO, content, social, email, in a way that they all work together to achieve a specific objective. They don't just execute tasks, they drive strategy. Finally, you need grit and adaptability. This industry will punch you in the mouth, campaigns will fail, algorithms will change. You have to be resilient enough to get back up, learn from your mistakes, and try again. You have to be a problem solver who sees a challenge not as a roadblock, but as an opportunity to learn something new. And you have to be adaptable enough to throw your entire strategy out the window when the data tells you it's not working. The blend of creativity, communication, strategy, and pure hustle is what will define your success. Now go do the work.